Are you moving to Germany? Or just having an idea of doing so? Well, stick around because in today's episode, I'll tell you more of what you need to know before you make this step. So if you are planning to move to Germany, here are a few things that you need to know before you make this step. Number one, it's to find a job or to find any other reason of legally moving to Germany. So let's start with finding a job. By the way, since recently Germany has made an opportunity for job seekers to come over and find a job. If you would like to look for a job being at home, you can try using LinkedIn. That's a good source of job advertisements. By the way, that's the way how I found my job. There are several sources that are widely used in Germany, and one of them is Stepstone. I will leave the links below into the description to this video so you can have a look for yourself. So you found a nice job advertisement and you want to apply? Before you do that, please make sure that you correctly design your CV because the expectations from CV here in Germany might be slightly different from those that you have in your home country. So you've got a job offer and the contract is already signed, time for you to apply for a visa. Check it out if you meet the requirement for Blue Card. It's way easier, way quicker, and much better than just normal working visa. If your company doesn't provide you any help with the housing or apartment search, I suggest you to use Immobilien Scout. Of course, you can find the link below. So, once you search for the apartment, it is highly unlikely that you will find an apartment that is fully furnished. One thing to know about Germany, most commonly apartments come naked, and what I mean by that is that in the apartment you will only find the bathroom. However, in some states you might also find kitchen installed, but that's not always the case. So if you are looking for an apartment that unfortunately doesn't have everything included, then you might consider looking for something like WG, which is sharing an apartment. And that's something to consider to live for the time being. Or you might find a furnished apartment for yourself. But I must warn you, those apartments come very expensive. All right, welcome on the German soil. Now you're already settled in your apartment and you have a job, you have a visa, everything's great. What's next? The next step is normally within the first 2 weeks, you have to register with a Bürgeramt. If you live in a large city or the city-state like Hamburg and Berlin, in those cases, you might be lucky and have a welcome center where you can submit all your documents and the whole process is done for you. But if you are moving to a smaller town, then make sure that you do everything on your own. So the registration of your address is done in the Bürgeramt. Alright, so for the registration of your address, you can go to your browser and you can type Bürgeramt. You will find the nearest governmental institution which would allow you to register your home address. For this, you need to have certain documents from your homeowner or from the agency that is renting out an apartment to you and your rental contract, of course. And now when you have your address registered, it's time for you to obtain the permit because visa is only valid for several months. For obtaining the permit, you need to reach out to Ausländerbehörde, and usually you can find their contacts just like you found Bürgeramt. For Ausländerbehörde, most probably you will have to send copies of your documents via mail or the scanned copies via email. Once your documents were approved, you will receive a temporary permit and, of course, an invitation to come and leave your biometrics, which is biometric photo and fingerprints. So the permit usually comes via mail to Ausländerbehörde and you have to go there to pick it up. But make sure that you receive the letter which tells you when to collect it and how. Alright, so in the meantime, you need to obtain a bank account in order for you to get your salary. The easiest way to do that is, of course, to do an online bank such as N26. It's easy and quick. If you would like to open an account in physical German banks such as Sparkasse or Commerzbank, of course you would have to go there physically. Great, now you have a bank account. So what's next? The next thing is to get health insurance. That's something that is super crucial in Germany. So how to do that? You can ask your HR for assistance, or you can do it by yourself. If you choose to have governmental insurance, gesetzliche Versicherung, then you can choose AOK or TK. Simply go to their webpage, fill in the application, and in the next few days, you will definitely receive your insurance card. Since free Wi-Fi is quite a rare thing for Germany, you might need to exchange your SIM card to a local one. To do that, you should ask around which company has the best coverage in the place where you live. Congratulations, you have the basics. Now, one of the crucial things to do is to find out if your company covers a language course. If not, that's alright. You can do it on your own. Please find a school nearby and start learning the language. Believe me, that's one of the crucial things to be integrated into this community. I know it's not easy. Believe me, I know. I've learned my German for already 4 years, and I'm still stuck on my B1 level. It isn't easy, but it's crucial for you to integrate into the community, to understand people around you, and of course, in order to obtain certain services. And one of those services is family practitioner, whether it's a sick leave or you actually need the help of a physician. Most of the doctors in Germany, they do speak English, but some of them simply don't want to. So at least to be able to explain what's wrong with you, that's important. We are very lucky with the family physician that we have. Our doctor speaks very good English, she understands us perfectly, and she always provides us help that we need. But that's not always the case. A lot of people that I know, including my colleagues, are struggling a lot with their doctors. So please make sure that if you can't find a doctor that is an English speaker, at least be aware that you need to communicate in the local language. This also pertains to a dentist or a barber. And if the dentist is like a doctor who might know some English, barbers usually don't. So for you to be able to explain at least what you want, you either need to have an image, a picture, or you need to speak the language to explain what you want. So now I want to go back to rental. When you rent out an apartment or a house in Germany, plumbing and electricity, that's the responsibility of the landlord. So if something is not properly functioning, you have to reach out to them. In our case, we had a situation where our electricity went off and we didn't know what to do about it. So my colleague suggested to reach out to emergency electrician. I did so, and trust me, I've regretted afterwards. Do not ever Google an emergency electrician or emergency plumber, because you will end up with fraud. Home internet. When you apply for home internet, you will be visited by a technician, and that usually happens in the next 10 days after you pay for the services. You must be at home in the given time. Why? In our case, the technician came once, rang the wrong door, never went up the stairs, and of course we didn't know that he was in the building, therefore we missed him. Because of that reason, we had to wait for another technician for another 2 weeks. Oh, and as for insurances, in Germany, there are a lot of them. What I mean by that? Well, of course there's life insurance, and of course there's health insurance, but that's not all. In Germany, you should also pay for insurance that if in case you cause harm to someone's property, or if somebody causes harm to your property, you can insure your phone, you can insure any of the amenities in your house. At the same time, I highly recommend you to pay the insurance for the lawyer. It's not a lot. Most probably, you'll be paying between 30 to 50 euro per month, but at least you will know that if there's a situation where you need a lawyer, that's covered by your insurance, including if you have any issues with your employer. Another big topic, that's driver's license, but I've made a separate video on that. Make sure you go and check it out. And last but not the least, finding friends. In Germany, that's way not the easiest task to do, especially if you don't speak the language. Of course, you can find some colleagues or gym buddies or doing some hobbies, but that's not always the case. To make friends in Germany, you need to understand German culture, and it can be slightly different from your home country. Ukrainians are very open. We love party, we love people, we love being honest, we love being open, as we say, with huge warm embrace. But in Germany, the situation is slightly different. And quite often, this Ukrainian nature can lead to people behave more reserved and closed. At least, that's the experience that I had. Now, if you would like me to talk about our story, how we moved to Germany, please leave the comment below and I will definitely make a separate video on that. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you liked it. Please don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next episode.